Colt Keffer is our next speaker, and Colt is the Director of Industry Relations and Sales for the American International Charolais Association. Keffer represents AICA at NCBA, BIF, and other national and state industry events, and he's also in charge of Charolais Advantage, which is an agent source program between AICA and IMI Global, and also charauctions.com, the official online bidding platform for the AICA. In addition to these responsibilities, he travels in an 8-state territory attending sales, and his main job is help communicate to the industry relevant programs from the AICA and help cattlemen implement those into their herds. And Colt's going to talk to us a little bit about genetics for growth and quality and how can a rancher add value to his cow herd. And Colt is going to be our final speaker. Afterward, Dr. Tanya Amon unfortunately got caught on a flight. We're going to have welcome to springtime in Texas. So we all know that we kind of can't do anything about the weather. But Colt's going to speak to us this evening, and then afterward we're going to have a couple of more little presentations and then be able to enjoy some fellowship around the trade show and have a great dinner this evening. So Colt, welcome. Sure happy to have you and appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you guys. Well, thanks everybody for coming today, and thanks Mr. Holloway for having us a part of this. It's great to see in this part of the world so many people come out and enthused about the beef industry. So my name is Colt Keffer. I'm with the Charolais Association. The way this presentation was supposed to go down was I was going to give a short, for lack of a better term, refresher course on the Charolais breed, and then Dr. Tanya Amon from the National Center for Beef Excellence was going to give a presentation on really a cornerstone of the Charolais breed and of the beef industry as a whole, and that's heterosis, hybrid vigor, both direct and maternal. Well, like they said, the joys of air travel, she won't be here until tomorrow, so you're going to be able to see her presentation tomorrow at some point. My presentation's still going to be pretty short and to the point, but my job is to travel to events just like this, travel to auctions all over the country, go to different cattle shows, different events, and it never fails. I always have somebody come up to me, and depending on their age, they say, you know, my granddaddy used to have Charolais, or my daddy used to have Charolais. And it never fails. After that, in pretty colorful language, they always say, man, those things were cow killers, or boy, they were crazy, or boy, those calves just didn't want to get up and suck. And I have to sit there and take it, because that's true. Every breed has a dark time in their history, and we're no different. Some of those traits are a little harder to quantify. Calf vigor, docility, those are a little harder to measure. But one trait, or traits that are easy to measure, is performance, it's weight. So what I'm going to talk just briefly about today is the advancements that the breeders of Charolais cattle have made throughout the years, throughout the last 3 decades, in solving some of those problems and then continuing to build on what the Charolais are known for. So what I did is I went and took data from 1991. I took all the phenotypic data that we had, all the actual weights that we had for birth weight, weaning weight, and yearling weight, broke it down between females and males. And I noticed that 1991 might not seem like the old days to some people, but when you start factoring in that 2019 to 2000 is a greater time span than 2000 to 1991, that kind of makes it pretty real for me. So once again, I broke it down. Now again, this is 1991, the average birth weight, 88 pounds, 92 pounds respectively. Average weaning weight, 579 to 634. Average yearling weight, 876 to 1124. The leading sire for registrations in 1991 was a bull by the name of FH-RRR Sequoia 148, and that's him. Please God, if you don't believe anything else I'm telling you today, the cattle don't look like this anymore. I guarantee that. So we fast forward to the most recent time frame that we have records, 2017. I took the same traits, broke them down, females and males, 83 pounds, 87 pounds respectively for an average birth weight, 617 to 683 for a weaning weight, and 931 to 1207 for a yearling weight. The leading sire for registrations in 2017 was a bull by the name of LT Ledger 0332P. That's him. That's a lot more phenotypically impressive or aesthetically pleasing, if you will. So based on a visual representation, that's kind of how far the Charolais breed has came in a short amount of time. So what does that mean as we go through time from 1991 to 2017? So the breeders have been able to lower the average birth weight by 5 pounds. They've been able to increase the weaning weights by 38 and 49 pounds respectively. And they've been able to increase the yearling weights from 55 and 83 pounds respectively. They knew that they had a problem with birth weight, they lowered it. They knew they needed to keep their performance, they kept it the same and increased it. Now bear in mind, one of the biggest things you hear about the Charolais is the birth weight. But anytime you use a Charolais bull or a Continental bull, you're going to have more birth weight. But you've got to remember there's a difference between actual birth weight and calving difficulty. That's one thing I wanted to make a note of. So one thing you might notice if you're a Charolais breeder, either coming into the Charolais breed new or you've been in it for years, is we're not a breed that's just going to hammer you with a bunch of EPDs, a bunch of indexes. We're not going to make the paperwork process harder than the selection of the cattle. But one trait that we are pretty proud of that we're starting to use a lot more is called the Terminal Sire Index, or TSI. This index blends birth weight, weaning weight, yearling weight, ribeye area, hot carcass weight, and marbling, and fat into one economically relevant index. Just a quick example, if Sire A's index is 191.66 and Sire B's index is 200, then we would expect Sire B's offspring to average $8.34 more in net return than Sire A's. So it's a pretty easy index. It's, once again, a terminal index. It's used heavily in feedlot cattle and carcass-driven scenarios. It's not used for any kind of maternal traits. Now, something that Dr. Amon was going to talk about today, she'll then talk about tomorrow, is maternal hybrid vigor, maternal heterosis. Being able to use half-blood or percentage cows and still get some hybrid vigor. This trait, TSI, would be used heavily in that scenario, but you always got to keep in mind the maternal aspects in cattle selection as well. So if you're a commercial producer that is looking to add value to Charolais influenced calves, this spring we came out with something called the Charolais Advantage Program, and in partnership with IMI Global. This is an agent source verification program that is specific to Charolais influenced feeder cattle. It allows feeder cattle to gain premiums by agent source verification or qualifying for natural NHTC or GAP programs. So the cost is $4 per tag with no enrollment fees. So once again, this is a program that if you're looking to get into the Charolais breed and wondering what kind of advantages are out there, if you're in the breed and you use Charolais bulls or females and want to add value to your cattle, qualifying for a program like this has been shown to return benefits when sold at weaning or yearling. So that's really about it. Once again, this presentation was meant to be short because Tanya Amon's was going to be very good, but more information can be found at charolaiusa.com. So all of our contact information will be around the booth for a while. Cody Beck, our Southwest representative, is going to be here today and tomorrow. So if you guys have any questions, please find us. You can find the information, like I said, at the website. But thanks again for coming. Thanks for having us be a part of it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.